Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Wilmington City Council meeting, Housing and License Inspection Committee meeting. My name is Hanifa Shabazz. I'm the chair of this meeting, and in a normal process we go around the room and introduce each other. We do have only one item on the agenda today, but it's quite important legislation, and we will have some great discussion after introduction, starting with my colleague, Councilman Robinson.
Councilman Eric Robinson, 3rd District.
Mayor.
Nyla Gilliam, Department of Real Estate and Housing.
Timothy Crawbay, Department of Real Estate and Housing.
Gene Bradley, City Auditor.
Edith Pridgeon, City Council staff.
Good. Welcome, everyone. Like I said, we have one item on the agenda, and it is the discussion of a resolution authorizing the mayor to file the fiscal year 2013 Consolidated Annual Action Plan and the fiscal year 2012 ESG substantial amendment application with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, including funding for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Improvement Program, Emergency Solutions Grant, and the Housing Opportunities for People with AIDS. And who will speak to this?
I will, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
This particular resolution is something that is required annually that we do, at which time we explain or go through what it is we are submitting to HUD. As you've already said, this resolution authorizes the mayor to execute and submit the city's application, an annual application, which is due for our home, CDBG, ESG, and HOPWA funds. And in addition, this year we also have an ESG substantial amendment from FY12 because we received additional funds mid-year.
Okay.
Now we have brought these items before the Housing and Licensing Committee at the beginning of April, and actually there have been no changes since that date.
Okay. What
we're actually doing now is we had to do the resolution that would get this out of committee before the council so that it can be voted on in the next council meeting. And one of the reasons that we needed to do this at this time is because of the timing. Our application is due to HUD by on or before May 15th.
Okay.
So just adding, that's obviously in the context of our budget hearing, it's a little bit different schedule to the degree that council may approve because this is effectively our budget. Council may approve that later during your normal schedule, approve that by the end of May, and with the Housing Committee being now, because of the requirement to have it in 45 days before the start of our fiscal year, we traditionally have had to have a resolution that was separate from your approval of the overall budget in order to meet the federal guidelines.
Okay.
And it's really logistical in terms of when council meetings fall and when the Housing Committee meets. So.
Okay.
Well, we have some handouts that you've given us, and how do they apply to the resolution?
Well, what we've attached are is the budget for the FY 2013 fiscal year.
Okay.
In addition, we have attached the revised budget for the FY12 ESG substantial amendment, showing you what we received in first and second allocations and how we allocated the second portion of that allocation actually as a part of our FY13 funding cycle.
Okay. And it also lists how we plan to allocate and disperse the funds.
It actually does. It shows, but on the project level, it shows the agencies and projects that we're allocating for FY13.
So again, none of this information has changed from our prior presentation in early April, and again, it's also effectively the same information presented at our budget hearing on April 26th, I think that
23rd.
was. 23rd, I'm sorry. With the exception of our general fund allocation is not reflected here.
Okay.
But what we provided with respect to federal funds, that's all consistent with those meetings and what you have before you today.
Okay. So for our listening audience, a lot of the details about this is really just process that we're going through today, because all the details of the use, how we're going to disperse, and who was allocated the the funding for many other housing agencies throughout the city. That was discussed in our April
3rd meeting.
April 3rd meeting. So we don't want to have to go through all of that again,
Okay.
because it's pretty clear unless anyone has any questions about it. Yeah, it was very clear of exactly how it's happening. It was going to be allocated, who was getting the funding, all the necessary disclosures were announced. And like I said, this is just due process to present the resolution to this committee, so that we can have it timely executed by the city council, so you can apply for file the necessary grant with HUD.
That's correct.
Very good. Well, does anyone have any questions or comments regarding all of this? We're hearing none. This is a resolution, and doesn't have to be voted at a committee. And so therefore it has been heard, and if there's no other comments and nothing else on the agenda from members of council, from housing, from the public, then I thank you, the housing department, for presenting this to us, and it will be heard before the city council at our May 3rd meeting. Okay?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And so this concludes the City Council Housing and License Inspections Committee meeting. Thank you very much.